Hey, bubbling, coming in, crushing this art. Hey, so happy 11th. Welcome to Bubbling's Astrologic Numerology. I'm gonna be breaking down the number 11. Yeah, this is Decan 11. Let us see. So when we start to look into it, 11 has the digital root of 2. This means on the dial of 9, it is 2. And 2 is in this fixed or this cardinal realm where 1, 2, and 3 reside, and it is a fixed placement of which we see 2, 5, and 8 are. So if you like something about this, right, and you think, oh, personally, I want to be more mutable, right? I want to be more otherly geared, or personally, I want to be more personable, right? More self-centered, or I want to be in a different realm. Here's how I give, or I want to be a different element. I give you the sort of list of things that share um, the same the same qualities but just slightly different, right? Whereas these are all in air, in the cardinal realm. This is just um, 1 and 3, right? These are all air, fixed, but in different realms, right? 11, 23, and 35. Whereas these are all 2, but in different elements. 29 fire, 11 air, 20 earth, and 2 water. So, so what does this mean? We're air, we're in the cardinal realm, and we're fixed, right? Um, so immediately, if we're air in the cardinal realm, this is a sort of expression of self, right? The it's sort of a running with who we are, as far as I can tell, and sort of like trying to bring people in on it. Not quite as much as mutable, but a sort of expression or a show to where we do really like connection, and there is a sort of search for connection in air. But with this air being an expression of the cardinal realm, it does become very personable. It becomes very. Um, I'm looking to kind of communicate what I'm looking to communicate um, in a way. But when we go down to what we're trying to communicate, though, 11 has the sense of balance, right? Being two, um, there is this personal, creative, right? Like I was saying, kind of in my own lane, personal, creative, kind of having a sort of focus. But what is gearing this is sort of balance, right, or fixity, sort of responsibility, um, sort of the social realm, right? Um, yeah. So so if we're like, one way to think about this, we're coming from a fixed placement and we're air, right? So this kind of relates to Libra in that we're just expressing in order to make sure everything goes like right, objectively. We're playing that role where our creativity is kind of being utilized for balance, right? And one-on-one sort of connection. Where um, again, being air fixed is sort of like Leo too, having this sort of way of exalting idea, right? Exalting expression is sort of an idea here too. Now, if we go to the other side where we're in the cardinal realm, though, being air, this sort of alludes to Gemini. This sort of alludes to just, yeah, self expression, right? And sort of being all in. And that's why I was saying that tunnel vision or that creativity, that's sort of centering you in, and that sort of, yeah, engaging creativity in that way. Also, air cardinal relates to Cancer, right? Being this sort of generator or of expression and of this sort of realm in which we have all of our people together, like we're kind of uh, um, like the agency we have within our body, like air represents all of the connection we have, like all of the traction we get to express ourselves anywhere we go, right? So like our best friends, for example, like any like roommate, if they really care about what we're doing, right? anybody that we can express to, right? Anybody that can really hold our word ends up becoming um, sort of a part of this air realm and a part of our reason. Um, because we have water, which is all the things we're a part of, but all the things we can utilize to express and be creative with are air. So, like, yeah, all our friends. So it's sort of, um, yeah, it sort of has this creating and taking, again, a personal approach on creativity, right? Gathering everybody and kind of being this sort of leader, or being this sort of glue, and kind of getting everything going. Sort of Cancerian in a way, right? Um, so yeah, that's a little bit about that. We just see this sort of being in the cardinal realm. We're sort of letting people into personal issues, but we're kind of objective um, personally, right? And we're very expressive and sort of creative, but going with the flow. Um, yeah, yeah. When we see 11 is prime, this also calls for its just being 1 times 11 and it being unique. So 1 times 11 is fire times air, which has an ability to get lost in wonderland, or a connection to expression and a love for reason, right? An ability to find oneself in reason, or a connection to it, yeah. Um, yeah, beautiful. And then it being unique just shows a sort of individual, which again goes for it's kind of in its own realm. It's in its own realm. It's trying to bring people together, but it's a very systematic, or very sort of just responsible and balancing sort of um, um, placement. So 11 is 2, as I said, but it expresses itself through 1 and 1. So 1 in the first place shows our personality, or yeah, our personal, like our Aries like nature, and where we're going being Aryan. So it's just a double down on this um, personal fire, right? And this personal creativity in this own realm that we're kind of operating within. And then 2 in the second again shows our habits being up to our whim and up to our creative, sort of ambitious, ever changing true self too, right? So yeah, that is interesting. When we put that together, so there is a lot of emphasis on the 1, on the cardinality, um, having a lot to do with where we are, right? Like we're utilizing our own lane, but there's air within that, right? So we're trying to kind of gather, um, we're still trying to let people in and sort of gather a sort of, it's almost like got a leader thing. We're still trying to gather substance or influence within that, right? Gather connection within that. Yeah, and personally, it's not just because we want to, or because we got sucked up in something. It's just because we feel that it's kind of necessary in a way, being the balance or coming from a fixed place again. So yeah. A little bit about 11. A, 11's awesome. Yeah, happy 11th. This is interesting. So this sort of bringing people into our own space and sort of operating in a way of balance, versus any sort of like volatility, right? The, yeah. Yeah. So balanced expression, right? But in our own lane. So yeah, sort of empowering what we know to be true, sticking to where we are, and sort of expressing and drawing connection through that. So hey, bubbling, Citra, Beach, out.